The University of Michigan is a public university. What would you say if I told you this university, which operates on sizable state tax subsidies, millions in tuition payments, and tens of millions in federal research grants, is investing public money and donations from alumni in venture capital startups in communist China? That is exactly what I'm about to tell you, and it may be happening with other U.S. universities too. Economically, the state of Michigan is on life support. Businesses have gone out of business across the entire Great Lakes state. Tens of thousands of people in Michigan have lost their jobs, many of them moving offshore to China. The U.S. auto industry, for a century the engine of growth and prosperity in Michigan, is struggling domestically while investing heavily in China. In late September, as Michigan's state government teetered on the brink of bankruptcy, the University of Michigan was holding so-called dragon boat races on a nearby river to celebrate its relationship with the communist dictatorship of China. The crowd was mostly Chinese, and that was just fine with the university administration. The University of Michigan administration evidently believes China, not Michigan, is where its future is the brightest. With banners on light poles all around the campus, this state taxpayer-funded school is in the midst of a year-long celebration of its relationship with the People's Republic of China. The state that nurtured the university to greatness is in desperate need of economic innovation. But President Mary Sue Coleman, who is paid over $743,000 a year, has her eye on the lucrative prize of enrolling ever more students from Red China and have them go to school either here or there. That's possible because U of M has established a so-called joint institute with Shanghai Jiao Tong University. They hope to have over 700 students participating. How much U.S. taxpayer money is involved? We don't know. The University of Michigan is proud of the fact it is the first non-Chinese university to offer degrees in engineering in China. Engineering is one of the cornerstones of economic growth and national security for any nation. All Americans need to clearly understand China wants what we have, and they will do anything to get it.
They steal technology like crazy. The U.S. Trade Representative's Office puts out a report every year on trade problems with other countries. The Chinese chapter is the largest chapter, and stealing intellectual property is, as they put it, as epidemic proportion. So they steal everything they can get, either commercially or through good old-fashioned espionage. The FBI has reported that Chinese espionage is our number one problem in the United States, second only to terrorism for the FBI.
We were set up in 1817 to serve the people of the state of Michigan. And we are supposed to come up with the breakthroughs in technology and knowledge here to help Michigan grow, whether it be navy beans in the thumb or more fuel-efficient engines or less polluting engines or making better turbine blades or whatever. And we're not doing that.
Yet the University of Michigan and most of the nation's top universities are sitting on vast piles of cash, billions of dollars in their endowment funds. Nationally, $340 billion were in university endowments in 2006, and they earned $52 billion, most of it tax-exempt. Michigan has a whopping $7.1 billion sitting in its endowment fund, the third largest among all public universities in the U.S. The university earned a whopping 25.6% on its endowment investments, while boosting the tuition burden on students and their families 7.4%. It now costs about $23,000 per year for an in-state undergraduate student to attend the top university in an economically devastated state. The University of Michigan's endowment fund was cited in recent U.S. Senate testimony in a hearing about university endowments investing in offshore hedge funds to evade taxes. Researcher Lynn Munson called it hoarding and said the University of Michigan has banked $150,000 per undergraduate student. The University of Virginia has them beat, banking $322,000 per undergrad. Munson testified, "What the data shows is that endowment wealth is everywhere except in the hands of the students who need it today." When it comes to China, the University of Michigan has put taxpayer money where its mouth is. On 5 separate occasions over the past 3 years, The University of Michigan Board of Regents has invested tens of millions of dollars of university money, that's public money, in venture capital projects in communist China. The University of Michigan bet on new business ventures in China instead of Michigan to the tune of $15 million in 2004, $15 million in 2005, $25 million in 2006, and $37.5 million in 2007. Total, at least $92.5 million in taxpayer money invested by the University of Michigan directly in venture capital startup companies in China. But the number is higher than that. Other University of Michigan venture capital investments aren't pure China plays, but they send our money there anyway. Example, the $30 million invested in 2006 in Equity International puts public money abroad in various countries such as Brazil, but that fund includes a home-building startup in China. Michigan isn't alone in investing our tax dollars in ventures outside the United States. U.S. Senate testimony indicates Duke University, which profits from federal research grants and has a $5.9 billion endowment, has 75% of its hedge fund cash in offshore investments. There are plenty of questions about what our universities are doing with our money. They are questions which should be posed by a full congressional hearing, a federal grand jury investigation, a class action lawsuit in behalf of all U.S. taxpayers, or perhaps all of the above. Aside from the appalling thought of our universities betting on venture startups in China, this rush by academia to invest our money in a country ruled by communist dictators prompts questions for which we have no answers, yet. Is Mary Sue Coleman or any of her administrators profiting personally from insider trading stock deals in the People's Republic of China? The opportunity is certainly there to do a deal with the devil. What about presidents, chancellors, administrators, and professors at other U.S. universities? These are good questions for people with the power and legal authority to demand answers. I'm Vince Wade. This is our country.